The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
We're going. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting, March 26, 2025. Can we have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Councillor Mouse, Councillor Johnson, any questions, comments? Councillor Johnson?
Just one question with the proposed U-Haul stall rental. I mean, they came to council here and we listened to what they had to say for their proposal for the new business. But has any members of council or yourself, Mayor Cernick, had any discussion with BID or the downtown Estevan groups to see if that those sites are acceptable?
I know the city manager did,
yep.
And I'm guessing his absence tonight, so it'll probably be pushed to June 9th.
Okay.
That's a good question. I didn't realize that wasn't on tonight.
Yeah. Because we need to put if we were going to table it, we should basically follow up with that information and get back to them in a, I'm going to say, a timely fashion. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, we will make sure that it is on June 9th, the next meeting. Thanks for that. Councillor Johnson, any more questions, comments on the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. We have a motion to accept the minutes of the last council meeting on May 25th. Councillor Varoba, Councillor Dabowski. Questions, comments on those? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Original communications, delegations, and petitions. Up first, Sacred Heart School request for reduced ice rental rates for the upcoming year. They are looking for a discount of $105 per hour. What is the regular rate? What are we proposing to them? Did we see that anyway? Sorry, I missed that. I should have been more prepared on that.
So this is the standard fee, this is the adjusted fee.
Okay, so we don't.
So, Your Worship.
Oh, Councillor Leeser?
Thank you, Your Worship. There was a more detailed cost breakdown in the information portion of the council packages provided directly to City Council.
You betcha. Okay. Okay, do we have a motion for this proposal? Councillor Varoba?
I don't think at this time I would be prepared to make a motion that we accept it, only because of the fact that I do caution if we are going to give Sacred Heart this rate, then we also would be looking at other user groups that would come back and also want the same rate. So I think we would should maybe just tread lightly before we give too much of a reduced rate there.
Yeah, I do believe the normal rate of, I know it's 120 something, is kind of discounted as is.
Yeah.
Do we have a seconder for that motion?
So yeah, I guess my motion would be to stick with the regular rate that we give all other user groups,
okay,
versus reducing it.
Okay. Councillor Elliott, second that motion. Any questions, comments out there? Councillor Leeser?
Thank you, Your Worship. I would like, if it is agreeable to those who made the motion and seconding, that we indicate the use of Power Dodge, which would offer cost savings to the Hockey Academy in lieu of discounting the rate.
Councillor Varoba?
Yes, thank you, Councillor Leeser. I knew that was in the information package. I just wasn't sure if that's what Sacred Heart would be interested in, if they just wanted the affinity place. But if they're interested in Power Dodge, I 100% would support that, because I think that that's a rink that we could possibly do. It's not being used at the time, so a reduced rate would not be the worst. So I would be okay with modifying the motion to state that. And
the reduced rate is already calculated. It is just the flat rental rate of the Power Dodge Center that would then allow for the cost savings. I would not support a change to the rate.
Okay, we're good with that, City Clerk?
Sure.
Dave, you're good with seconding that motion still?
Yes, Your Worship, just like to add the reduced rated powered Dodge. Yes, Your Worship, the reduced rated powered Dodge is, I believe it was $90 during school hours. So that would be what we would want to maybe direct them towards.
Okay. We have a seconder. Any more questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. GFL cart report for April 2025. Do we have a motion to accept this? Councillor Mouse, Councillor Dubowski, questions, comments out there? Councillor Johnson?
I just have a question. With the recycling that GFL offers us in the city of Estevan, can they give us a report on how they are presently recycling, handling the processing of all the recycling? I'm not sure, I'm not clear on where they do it or how it's baled or where it's sent to and is it separated. I'm very curious to that fact. And then the other mention is the new facility, Sarcan, is opening sometime in mid-June, I hear, today. So that's going to be interesting and good for the community too. So if I can get that report from GFL, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
That's all.
Into that, Councillor Roba?
Thank you, Worship. I just had one comment. There was a garbage lid that was replaced in Bean Fate that was in our report. So I'm not sure if the city's charged for those types of things or if it's just part of our contract. But I just thought if it was from Bean Fate, we wouldn't be charged for that, just to make sure.
Okay, we will look into that as well. Okay, excellent. There's secondary. Any questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. We'll get those reports going. Up next, written reports of committee, Southeast Transportation Planning Committee, minutes of April 22, 2025. Do we have a motion? Councillor Johnson? There's a motion there. Do we have a seconder for these reports? Councillor Varoba. Questions, comments? Councillor Johnson?
I'd just like to point out that this is actually the report from the AGM that we hosted here in the Taylorton Room at the Days Inn. We did have another meeting thereafter, which would have been also recorded, and I don't see those notes, but I will ask them tomorrow, because I'm meeting with them again tomorrow to send in those notes also, so that we can register them also. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder for this report? Councillor Mouse. More questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Up next, we have the Estevan Art Gallery Museum minutes of February, March, April, and May. Somebody got caught up. Councillor Varoba.
Thank you, Worship. I would move to accept them all except the May minutes because those are actually incorrect. They have me in attendance at that meeting, and so I believe they may have inadvertently sent you the May 2024 minutes.
You don't want to be on the hook for that?
Yeah.
Sounds good. So we're good for February, March, and April. Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Elliott. Any questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. We will add the May to the next one. Up next, Police Service Report Q1 update for 2025. Q1 report is looking good, kind of light and vague, which Q1 will be, but everything looks to be trending good there. Do we have a motion to accept this from the Estevan Police? Councillor Dubowski, seconded by Councillor Waleser. Questions, comments out there on this? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Executive reports. Land development property consultation, lots 1A, 1 through 8, block 102, plan C3929. Richard, do you want to come up to the chair? Anything to add to this for us? I'll just kind of, Macomb Automotive has applied to constellate all their properties into a single property through lot consultation plan. The purposes of the consultation is to eliminate the issues related to property lines through buildings and allow for future expansion. That's good to hear. Anything to add on that, Richard?
Yes, thank you, Your Worship and Council. Macomb Automotive has been in contact with us over the last 2-3 years, wanting to join a couple of their main buildings together, wanting to put another building in place of one of their older existing ones, and they keep running afoul because they have lot lines going all over the place, as you can see on the attached map. Under our zoning bylaw and also under building code, we have restrictions on building new buildings across property lines for obvious reasons. And this will do away with that. So they've applied to consolidate all these buildings, and if this is approved by council, they're likely to follow up with some new construction. And
Excellent. So you're seeing no issues with it, Councillor Mouse?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Cernick. I just have one question. I think it's a good idea, obviously. It makes life easier for them. Is there any effect, like, on the property tax situation for us, or does it all stay the same and they just, how does that work?
Your Worship, through to Councillor Mouse, in terms of property tax, of course, based on assessment, as everyone knows, generally assessed value per square meter or square foot will decrease as the parcel gets larger. As a good example, you wouldn't pay the same rate per acre for a quarter section as you would for a 5-acre lot if you're out in the country. So the assessed value may go down a little bit, but that is a question probably more appropriate to ask of our tax assessor and SAMA.
Okay, excellent. We have a motion to accept this. Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Mouse. Any further questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Land development. Up next, daycare minor variance on 1505 Wellick Road. So we are changing a few. The setback property line is 7.5 meters. We're going to change it to 5.8, which isn't much. And then the yard fronting will go from 3 meters to 2.5 meters, which again just isn't too much. Minor changes. Do we have a motion to accept this? Or do you want to add anything first? Sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yes, there were some questions that came forward to me on the weekend regarding this. And if you indulge me, I can expand on this a little bit. When I'm referring to boulevards in my report, I'm not just talking about center median, I'm talking about the sidewalk and maybe any green space that may be between the sidewalk and the outside edge of the road right-of-way. A number of our bylaws, we refer to all that space, if it's not used as part of the roadway, as a boulevard. In terms of landscaping, this proposal reduces the front yard side setback, or front yard setback, to 5.8 meters. Generally, it's about 7.5, 7.4 meters for the residents that could be on an adjoining lot. But those residences, quite often, they're allowed a 2-meter encroachment for a front deck. And so when you look at that, we're talking just a few centimeters difference between where this daycare would be if council were to approve it and where a house with a deck would be. I'm thinking that a discrepancy of that nature, some shrubbery and even a tree or something like that in the northeast corner where there is green space will take care of any kind of visual issues that could possibly occur. The sketch that came in is from the engineering firm representing the developer. I'm not here to speak today in real detail regarding where they're going to have their proposed access to the site. The original site had a drive-in, drive-out, similar to what is at the Hillcrest Daycare by Hillcrest School. This one here, they can go either way with a single or with the loop. I'm leaving that to City Engineering Department when our City Engineer returns from his absence, and he can deal with that. In terms of building codes, this property, like if this relocation were to be approved, I've got a confirmation from our building official at Municode that it won't impose any restrictions at all on the neighboring lots. What is proposed here is that the east wall of this building, and this is proposed beforehand will either be stuccoed or metal cladding or some other, so that they have their fire rating maintained. Should be no problem. So there won't be any infringement on the development area for the adjoining property. Parking, the parking lot that is proposed on the west side of the building will actually have more room because you're shifting the building a half meter east. The parking area on the north side of the building with the proposed shift will be okay, provided city engineering approves what is being proposed for the north side on the boulevard and what have you. So I'm hoping that helps with it, but if any other questions, Your Worship?
Okay, do we have a motion to accept this? Oh, Councillor Leeser?
Thank you, Your Worship. I am in favor of shifting the building on site. My primary concern is that I think we are making an already difficult lot to sell even more undesirable. So I will make the motion that we proceed with the minor variances as requested, and we have a discussion about how to make the lots adjacent to the new daycare site more desirable for residential development.
Okay, we have a seconder for that motion. Councilor Baroba. Any more questions, comments on this? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Up next, public hearings, nothing. Giving notice, clean sweep was supposed to be last week. Due to all the rain, it is just now, everything has just moved to this week coming up. So this weekend coming up is the free weekend. What do we got? Tuesday, we start with the city outline cruise. What's the day that you can leave your property owners? You can leave.
Thursdays north, Fridays.
Thursday is when we can leave organic waste out front and it'll be picked up by the city. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, free weekend?
Yep.
Except for mattresses,
And
fridges.
fridges.
Stuff like that. So anyways, it was just moved this week. It was supposed to be last week, but due to the weather, it is this week. So do we have a motion to accept clean sweep moving a week? Councillor Mouse, Councillor Bowski, all in favor? Carried. Up next, it's bylaw city tonight. Second and third readings. Up first is bylaw 2025-2092. We're a bylaw to fix the rate of taxation. Do we have a motion to accept this? Councillor Varoba, Councillor Johnson, any questions, comments on this? Second reading, Councillor Leeser.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would like to draw Council's attention to point 6 on the base tax and point 5, the minimum tax. In previous years, the City of Estevan has always had a minimum tax on residential properties, but it was $750, and it impacted a handful of property owners. With the considerable jump to $1,200, there will be members in our community who are facing an unanticipated almost doubling of their property tax for the year. I would like some additional feedback from the other members of council about how we could make this more feasible, as if people are not currently on the TIPS program that does monthly payments, they would have less than 6 weeks notice to come up with the difference from last year's minimum tax to this year's minimum tax.
Any questions, comments out there? Councillor Leeser? Councillor Johnson?
I'm not sure exactly when the city did have the discussion about the minimum tax or the base tax. We had it many, many years ago, and I don't know if we struck it with that 700 back then, and it hasn't changed since. I'd be really curious to find out how long it's been at $700, and that would be one of my first questions. I guess my other response to this is justification of things, especially with taxation. And we all know that nothing stays the same forever. Costs are always increasing. We based it on that property with that small dwelling on it, or that house on it. It costs X amount of dollars to fix the streets, to do the snow clearing, to do the pothole patching, to do your response with your fire service, your police, your safety, your street lighting, you name it, sidewalks, everything that's in the bundle that the city offers has increased over the years. So going back and looking at when was this set at $700 and what has been changed and how long it's been there, and now it's ramped up. Now we're going to be affecting, I looked at the numbers, probably 120 property owners around this degree of increase. And we're going to see some outcry, no doubt about it. So that being said, the only thing that I have to justify it with is the services that we offer today and the price that we pay for those services in order to continue on to make the city of Estevan what it is today. And these property owners, most of them that live in these community houses, are going to see somewhat of an increase, and some are going to be shocked at some of their tax notices. And there again, what other centers are doing, like Yorkton, with the tax rate on just air land that's out there with no property on it, they're moving up their tax rates too, because they want to see dwellings put on these properties. They want to see dwellings put on this just barren land versus having the home or the property owner just pay the tax on it and just keep the land without any development on it. So this entices those property owners either to sell it, to move it off, or move it along, or build a dwelling on it. So that's the other thing that comes into play here too. So I have no suggestion on how we can ease the tax base for some people that may be coming in and having a hard time paying for those amounts, because if they were on a fixed income, definitely there's going to be some concerns that we're going to have to share with them. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Verba?
Thank you, Worship. And yeah, I 100% do agree with everything you just said, Councillor Johnson. I think the last time we even talked about it, it may have been when we did raise the minimum tax up from $7 to $7.50 or whatever it is today. And the $1,200, it's a way of not putting all of the tax burden on just one sector. Some of these are probably rental properties, some of them may be, but I agree with Councillor Walliser that if there are people who face a hardship, you know, some of these that you've, Trudy had done for us, you know, the increase is $3.41. And it goes right back up, and some of them are in the hundreds, which you divide that by 12, and you could be looking at a $35 per month tax increase. But I also agree with the fact that they get the exact same services that someone else 4 doors down is paying $4,000 or $5,000 a year in taxes. So I think the $1,200 minimum tax, probably it is time.
Okay, Councilor Walliser?
Thank you, Your Worship. If there's no one else that would like to join the conversation, I'd like to propose an amendment to the motion on the floor. I would like to propose that we phase the increase in, and for the 2025 tax year, the minimum tax be set at $1,000 with the intention of increasing it again next year, and that the shortfall to the budget be made up through borrowing.
Can we amend that, or do we got to vote on it first?
You have to vote on the motion that is on the floor. Your Worship, you have to vote on the motion that is on the floor. So that is second reading. We have a mover and a seconder. We have to vote on that. If you would like to put a motion on the floor after that,
For the third reading?
before the third reading, you can do that. Usually, you would ask what the impact of that would be. So We have to we have to settle this second motion reading, and you said to move.
Yeah, and so the motion that we're doing is the exact bylaw that is in place right now in our package. Okay, yeah, I still second that.
Okay.
Okay. Questions or comments on that? All in favor?
Is Councillor Waldeser opposed? Ask for opposed?
Who you got? Everybody in favor?
No.
Just so we're not confused as to how we're order now. We're voting now, first of all, on this motion, on the original motion.
Correct. Yeah. So all in favor of the original motion?
Opposed?
Opposed?
It's two.
2. So now we move on to third reading.
Who was going to put the motion on the floor for that?
You did.
Who seconded it?
Councillor Johnson.
Okay. I thought I was second, that's what.
Yeah.
That was the second reading.
A second reading. So on to third reading.
Or, no. If Councillor Waldeser would like to put a motion on the floor.
Councillor Leeser, your motion again. Can you put that on the floor?
A question to the city clerk. My understanding is that in order for the finance department to send tax notices out, a decision is required to be made. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And for that reason, I do not want to wait for the financial impact. The motion is to amend the bylaw for number 5, the minimum tax, to be set at $1,000 for the 2025 year. And the budget shortfall to be made up through borrowing.
Okay. So let's go back to second.
Just a sec. Budget. Sorry. Budget. Borrowing. Okay. So that's her motion. She needs a seconder.
Do we have a seconder, Councillor Elliott? Questions or comments on this? Councillor Johnson?
This year was also an assessment year. And some of those properties and some of the minimum tax that are being affected, I don't know what all the property values are with the assessment that came from SAMA, but I can tell you that some of those property values probably did increase as mine did, and some went down. So that comes into play here too. So when you take that property and you're looking at it, there's an increased value there also that's attached, maybe. So that's another thing that we're also dealing with here. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Elliott?
Thank you, Your Worship. The reason that I seconded this motion is because I actually see us having a potentially negative effect on perhaps the poorest or weakest segment of Estevan society. So as such, I think I would rather see us, if we had to borrow, and I don't know what the amount is, what the impact would be, but rather than put one specific group into an increased hardship, I would rather see us take a graduated approach toward it. So that's why I seconded that, Your Worship.
So the amendment to the bylaw is 1,000 instead of 1,200. Councillor Brobo?
I just want to speak against supporting this motion because it is only the $200. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of these smaller homes are being used as rental homes in the city of Estevan, which again, it probably would increase the rent, but $200, divide that by 12 is, $17. So it isn't a big difference when you're thinking $17 a month, but it could be a bigger difference to the city of Estevan if we're not waiting to actually find out the financial impact to the budget prior to voting.
Great. Councillor Elliott?
Thank you, Your Worship. I guess in my response to that would be we're dealing with roughly, was it 120? 120 homes times $17 a month. By the city taking that seeming pittance onto its shoulder for this coming year, if it does prevent hardship for a few families or a few seniors, I think it's a good move to make. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments out there? So we have the amendment to go from 1,200 to 1,000. We're motioned, we're seconded. All in favor?
Okay, so hold on. What- Okay.
None opposed? Carried. So now, do we move to third reading with the amended bylaw?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, we have the amended bylaw. Do we have a motion for the amended bylaw? Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Mouse. All in favor? Opposed?
Okay, hold on. Who's opposed?
I am opposed. Sorry.
And you are in favor, right, Councillor Waleser?
I am in favor.
So saying you made the motion.
Bylaw as amended.
I think it's just, you must have just had a delay there. All good.
So Councillor Johnson's opposed to you?
I was in.
Just to clarify, I'm supporting it because now, because of the fact that the vote went in favor of the motion, I feel myself opposing it is no longer effective. So I just want, I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Councillor Johnson?
Mayor Cernick, I opposed it because I understand, you know, we have work to do, basically, in the financial end, sending out all these assessments for our taxes and on the taxes. This might just throw another monkey wrench into things and slow the process up. And, yeah, if this could have been brought to our attention maybe sooner, we could have had more discussion on it, but I'm concerned about that, definitely. And I don't know what this is going to affect or how it's going to affect us, but that's why I'm strictly against it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Waleser?
Thank you, Your Worship. Asking for a point of clarification. I believe the instructions provided to council previously were that the first reading of a bylaw is to send it as is to the community. The second reading of a bylaw is the time to provide feedback and changes. And the third time is for the adoption for use. Is that correct?
That's the way I would take it, yes. City Clerk? Putting you on the spot.
That is correct, Your Worship.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Councillor Waleser. On to the next one for bid. So we could find the money on this bid one, just saying. Bylaw 2025-2093 for the bylaw to provide bid levy. So we have the bid levy coming up again at $27,500. Do we have a motion to accept this for second reading? Councillor Veroma, second by Councillor Johnson. Any questions, comments on this one? Seeing none. Oh, Councillor Veroma, so close.
Just to clarify with the bid, I think I said this the last time too, is the $27,500 is collected from the businesses that are in the bid district. And then the other $27,500 is technically from the city, from all of the taxpayers. However, that money is used mainly for parking lots downtown. It's for the parking lot improvements, the improvements that go on downtown, and any asset that the Business Improvement District attains becomes city property. So it is, technically, we're giving them $27,500, but in the end, when they do an improvement, it comes back to the city.
Thank you for that. We were seconded already, right?
Yep.
That covers the question and comment. All in favor? Carried. Up next, we have bylaw to provide for the library levy.
No, any third readings?
Sorry, we need third reading for that. Any motion for third reading? Councillor Elliott, Councillor Dabowski, questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Up next, the library levy. Second reading. Do we have a motion, Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Elliott? Questions, comments on this one? Seeing none. All in favor? Carried. And we have a motion for third reading on the library. Councillor Dabowski, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All in questions, comments? Close. All in favor? Carried. Last one, the health levy. Oh, it's not the last one, but the health levy. Do we have a motion to accept the health levy? Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Counselor Moe, seconded by. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Do we have a motion for third reading for the health levy? Counselor Dabowski, Counselor Elliott, questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Up next is bylaw 2025-2090, road closure bylaw for Drader Street. And we have to kind of consider first reading, second reading, and third reading tonight. We're breaking the rules, City Clerk? We're not breaking the rules.
No, Your Worship, we are not. There are instruments in place. We will be okay.
Thank you for that. Sorry. There was can we say there was a clerical error on the last one?
You can ask.
Richard, can you update us?
No, I'm happy with the reason you gave. The clerical error was on my part entirely. My regrets for tying up council time, having to do a redo on this.
Okay, no problems there. So do we have a motion for first reading? Councilor Verova? Yeah, sorry.
Thank you, Worship. Can we just clarify to the people that are listening or wondering, in case they didn't read the package, what the clerical error was, just so that we're aware of how minor it was?
Thanks. The Mayor and Council, the original bylaw, for whatever reason, was talking about closing the northern 2 meters on the west side of Drader Street. We actually wanted it to be on the east side, where the road allowance was 22 meters in width instead of 20.
Okay. Good with that, Councilor Verova?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make a motion there. Second that motion, Councilor Mouse. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. On to second reading. Do we have a motion for second reading? Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Dabowski. Questions, comments? Councilor Verova?
Sorry.
All in favor? Carried. Third reading. Do we have a motion for a third reading?
Nope. Sorry.
What?
Sorry, Your Worship, we have to go to study be waived. Under the red.
No, I don't. Sorry.
Remember, yeah. That's the instrument, turn it over. You have to do this one. You have to do all three of those.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we need a motion that the referral of bylaw 2025-2096 in council and committee for study to be waived. We have a motion for this. Councilor Elliott, seconded by Councilor Johnson. All in favor? Carried. All three, you say?
Yep.
So we need a motion that the bylaw 2025-2096 be given 3 readings in this meeting. We have a motion to accept that. Councilor Elliott, Councilor Verova, all in favor? Question? Okay, all in favor? Last one here, that bylaw 2025-2096 be annexed. Oh, don't say that word. Do these minutes be taken and having been given third and final readings, approved and adopted for use by the city of Estevan. Do we have a motion for this? Councilor Verova, Councilor Elliott, seconded by? All in favor? Carried. On to third reading.
No,
We're good?
You're good.
We're good. It was an educational night. That's it. We're into inquiries. Councilor Verova.
Thank you, Your Worship. Actually, I had quite a few inquiries, but they were all bylaw related. And so currently, there is a posting out for a new bylaw officer, I believe. So I've just been instructing them how to go ahead and put in their bylaw concern. And then, a lot of the concerns that are coming forward is that it's too long of a process to wait for the time a bylaw issue goes put in. And so today I heard that waiting period went from 14 days to 7. Is that true? No?
First,
Okay.
never heard nothing.
So it was the first I heard of it too. So sometimes I just like to clear up a rumor right here. So anyways, that is the concern though that is out there from multiple people, is that when a bylaw issue, especially property related, comes in, that it takes too long to clear it up. Again, there's a few issues on some of the properties, and so it would be nice to see us take action when these properties are continuously being a nuisance property versus having to start and stop a file. So I know this is a problem all the time, but I think if we keep hammering at it, then we can do it, because I would like to see us go in and clean up some of those properties and apply it back to their taxes, since they don't seem to be doing it. So once the new bylaw officer is hired, I will have a direct line to them probably. So thank you.
Excellent. Sounds good. Any new websites today or something like that?
Good reminder. I thought maybe you were going to announce that. Our Community Safety and Wellness Committee has also launched their new website. So there is a article about that out. So if you're interested in checking it out, it's the Community Safety and Wellness. If you just Google us, our website will come out. And it is basically there to give everybody kind of a link to the services that are offered in Estevan. And we are also looking for community members to participate, help out, join in any way they can, but also give feedback to the website and also feedback to any link that we might be missing. So please check it out, let us know, and we are very interested in community feedback because that is what builds stronger communities.
Thank you for that. Councillor Mouse. Councillor Elliott.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just want to kind of remind folks, we're coming into a whole new season of sports and activities for kids of all ages throughout the community, so they're going to be looking for volunteers. And it just seems in the last number of years that number of volunteers has been dropping. So even if you got to split up the duties for your kids' team with 2 other parents, whatever it takes, let's just make sure all the programs keep running in Estevan. Thank you.
Thank you for that. City Treasurer.
Nothing, Your Worship.
Nothing, Your Worship. You got some homework, though. Councillor Dabowski. Councillor Johnson.
Well, I'm going to probably follow up on the heels of Councillor Varoba, too. My inquiry is basically, I'm requesting an update from our city manager about how we are doing on bylaw enforcement here in Estevan. And let's take a look back at the number of years that we always seem to get to this point when it's springtime and we're faced with all these things. Cats running around, dogs on loose, and unsightly properties, unsightly cars and junk vehicles left around or whatever. But we just don't seem to have the bylaw officer in place, or there's something there. So I've seen it so many times, and we're struggling now with that. And I'd like to see what the plans are going ahead, because I have also a concern with the amount of garage sale signs that I see out that are posted out willy-nilly all over the place. And that kind of hinges or fringes on the bylaw officer's job too, if they're left up or being posted, let's say on that new SAS Power transformer that's on the corner there on King Street. Brand new transformer, and we're going to cover that with garage sale signs. Like, come on now. Either we need a poster or we need some type of billboard or something to put these posters up, just so it's looking cleaner, so we don't in a few years have to wrap that transformer with a wrap or paint it again. So those are my concerns, Mayor Cernick. And I'd like to also mention, you know, if I can get a report from the city manager, that would be great, on how we're doing, where we're going, because I see a lot of them on Facebook now. People are complaining. I'm getting a lot of complaints, and I'd like to touch base even with the Humane Society and see how many open spots they have, because we could probably fill it up a little bit now. And I guess my other comment is, with Coffee with the Mayor, it was really a good group of people we had in discussion, and it was well intended. We had a big topic to discuss, but we got through it. And also we had a good discussion on parks, and looking at parks in the future, on what can be done and what changes need to be done for parks. I didn't realize there was that many concerns around, you know, the parks and the slides especially, and things like that. But I'm just going to offer this as another inquiry, because it was brought up at that meeting. But I'm looking for an answer. I don't know if you have it, Mayor Cernick, but with the Aurora Recovery Center, can you tell us when is their plans to have an open house in the community, for us even, to attend? So do you have that information yet from them?
I do not have that information, but once they actually start their business in town, it'll be a request.
Okay, and you're going to make that request too?
You betcha.
Okay. That's all my inquiries this evening. I thank you very much.
Councillor Varoba.
Thank you, Your Worship. My apologies, I did not make the coffee with council on Friday. But is that actually their business name, is the Aurora Recovery Center?
We don't know that.
We don't
either.
know at this point. Okay,
Yeah,
so now
yeah.
I was interested to hear if they had actually informed us of that, so thank you.
Yeah, there was many questions at the coffee with council that were coming up. And once they actually come into town and get going, we'll unravel all those questions. Where are we? Councillor Waleser.
Thank you, Your Worship. Not an inquiry, but a reminder to the community that on Estevan's behalf, Councillor Verova, Councillor Moss, and myself are on our way to Ottawa this week to participate in the Federation of Canadian Municipalities annual convention. Not only will we be meeting with political leaders in Ottawa, but we will also have the opportunity to take additional training and bring that information back to strengthen Estevan. So we'll have an update at the next city meeting.
Bring some funding home. Assistant City Clerk Josh, you have a new chair tonight.
Only for the night.
That's all you have to add?
Nothing tonight, Your Worship.
Thank you for that. And yeah, no, I've just been attending, I don't know how many, seems like every day a person's attending some sort of gathering in this city. So yeah, as you say, volunteers are everywhere. Volunteers are needed more, but everything's been so good lately, especially spring has sprung. It all starts in April. So just hats off to the community. Keep up the good work. And we have a motion to move into committee. Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor Mouse, all in favor? We are moving into committee.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today